Today, October 7th, is my wife Yuko's birthday. Happy birthday, Yuko! So, I thought I would entertain you with the story of how I almost did not marry the beautiful mother of my 4 multilingual kids. I was pretty stupid. Welcome to AskTetsu, where we unlock the world's opportunities for our children by teaching them languages. My name is Tetsu, and I have been raised in multiple languages, and today I am raising my own 4 kids in 5 languages. If you're new here, I urge you to subscribe and follow our kids' language development journey. So back in the summer of 2011, I was 37, single, and living by myself in Tokyo, Japan. I really wanted to get married, especially because I couldn't wait to have kids. But I was working like a slave and I simply didn't know many nice girls. Well, it wasn't completely true. I did know this very nice girl, Yuko. But there was a big problem. She was 12 years younger than me. So I really saw myself as a protective big brother rather than a romantic partner for her. Yuko and I had met 3 years before at our previous company in Tokyo, and we were very good friends during the time that she was there, often going out for dinner or movies, etc. But she had left the company in 2010 to go back to school in her hometown of Nagasaki. So for those who don't know where that is, it's a 2-hour flight from Tokyo. Now, one day in late August 2011, after not seeing Yuko for about a year or so, she called me up to tell me that she was visiting Tokyo for a week and thought we should do something together. So, of course, I was thrilled to see her again. And in fact, we met up quite a few times during her week in Tokyo. We had an amazing time. And also, I felt something was different this time. I couldn't stop thinking about her after she went back to Nagasaki. Now, this was quite distracting too, as I had this big presentation on my overseas business trip the following week. Now, thankfully, the presentation went very well, and that night in my hotel, after finally clearing my mind of all the work-related thoughts, I just relaxed and started thinking about Yuko again. I think about all the fun we'd have and how she was pretty much everything I was looking for in a girl. Tender, funny, outgoing, and she was also very interested in languages and culture. I mean, that's a nice bonus. But then the same negative thoughts came back. I just felt she was way too young for me. I don't know if I was feeling guilty, kind of like, she deserved somebody her age, that sort of thing. Or maybe I was just insecure about it. Anyway, the thought of the age gap kept haunting me incessantly. Then it dawned on me. I know many couples with more than 12 years of difference in age. In fact, my uncle and aunt who took care of me when I first arrived in Canada were like 20 years apart. And if we look at celebrities, George Clooney is like 17 years older than his wife. Leonardo DiCaprio is like 23 years older than his partner. So, just like that, my biggest question now turned into, why not Yuko? To this day, I don't really know what triggered this change of mindset or what really made me think 12 years was a huge issue in the first place. But my guess is that I probably felt that 12 years was a big gap when we first met. So she was 22 at the time and I was 34. But somehow, 3 years later, at 25 and 37, maybe it felt less sinful. I don't know. Anyway, following this mind shift, I quickly found myself beginning to feel something completely different now. Kind of like a desperation. So I frantically proceeded to text her from my hotel to ask her if I could go visit her after I get back to Japan. Then waiting for her answer felt like an eternity, during which many bad thoughts crossed my mind, like things like, what if she already had a boyfriend? Anyways, I'd never forget the moment that the phone vibrated and how I nervously opened the text message. Well, to my relief, her answer was yes, she'd like to see me again, and that said, I was sure she was quite surprised though at how aggressive I had become since we had spent time just, a few days ago. And even before that, we hadn't even seen each other for a year, so why the hurry now? But anyway, when we met again after I got back to Japan, it was so special and so amazing. And full of excitement, I asked her if she would be my girlfriend. And I added, I am so serious that the relationship comes with intent to marry. Yes, that's how stupid and in love I suddenly became. Who the hell says with intent to marry in these days? Oh well. But fortunately for me, she agreed to go out with me. That was a miracle. So from that day in late September, I would fly to Nagasaki almost every weekend, and sometimes she would come to Tokyo. A few weeks into our new relationship, I decided I was ready to ask her to marry me. I mean, it may sound like it's pretty quick, but it's not like I just met her a few weeks ago. I had known her for more than 3.5 years. And also, part of me probably just wanted to seal the deal before she woke up. But first, I had to get the blessing from my parents, who were living back in Canada. I had not said a word to them about Yuko yet, so this was gonna really come out of nowhere for them. And plus, I was quite worried that they would also see an issue with our age difference, like I first did. So I wrote my parents an email telling them I am in love with a very nice girl, educated, beautiful, and all the positive stuff to try to portray her in her best light. And then I kind of just slipped in there the little comment about the 12 years of difference between us, very discreetly. The next morning, my mother calls me with the most gloomy voice I had ever heard. She tried to be positive, I mean, we gotta give her that, but I could feel that there was something not right. And she says to me, "Son, we are very happy that you have finally found a good partner. If you feel she's right, then we support you 100%. So yeah, that was a sigh of relief. Then she continues, "We want you to be happy. So don't worry about us. We'll be okay without grandchildren." I'm like, what? What the hell does that mean? Mom goes, "Well, you said there's 12 years of difference between you two, so she obviously can't have kids at 49. I'm like, "Well, Mom, she's 25. Mom then goes, "What the hell is the problem then?" So suddenly we're having the weird happy argument over this stupid misunderstanding. But I was very glad to have my parents' support. So I proposed to Yuko, but I'll spare you the details. It's not very juicy. But suffice to say that she said, of course, yes. So Yuko arranged a meeting with her parents the following Saturday. It's November 5th, 2011. By the way, that's only 6 weeks after asking Yuko to be my girlfriend. Now, I needed to prepare myself mentally to meet her parents, especially her father, because you see, in Japan, Japan is still a very traditional and male-dominated country. And unfortunately for me, of all of Japan, men from the island of Kyushu, that's where Nagasaki is found, they're known to be the most macho of them all. I mean, there's even a term for them called Kyushu Danji, which literally means men of Kyushu, to depict the machismo at its extreme. So, regardless of how much Yuko told me her father was a very nice and gentle person, all I could imagine was this guy. So, you could imagine the sense of relief that I felt when I actually met her father. He was gentle and funny, and so asking for Yuko's hand in marriage was the complete opposite of the traumatic experience that I had prepared myself for. And before you know it, we were opening bottles of sake in the big family party that erupted. And exactly 2 weeks after meeting Yuko's parents, we went to the city hall and signed the marriage papers. That was November 19th, 2011. So how's that for a fast love story? 9 years and 4 polyglot kids down the road. I think I did the right thing to quickly jump on Yuko to make her mine. Although I do admit I was pretty dumb for the first 3.5 years that I knew Yuko before that. I mean, that could have very well costed me the love of my life. Alright, now if you want to hear another story about another very important woman in my life, that's my mother. I invite you to watch the video that's in that corner. It's about how she sent me away from home at age 13 to live in a land where I did not speak the language. And if you want to see videos where I talk about different concepts and strategies in raising our multilingual kids, please check out the playlist right down below. And I'll see you in the next video.